Hello, English learners. Welcome back to the podcast at Simply Street English with Jake. That's me, by the way, your host. I have some exciting news. I have decided to make the transcripts totally free. I just noticed that when I'm learning a language and I see the transcript is free on Apple Podcasts, it is so much better and so much easier for me. So I click on that podcast often, and then so if I'm learning a language and I listen to the podcast and follow along, so I'm making all my transcripts free. If you're listening to it on Apple, just scroll down on the episode and you'll see the transcript. I just think that'll make things so much easier for you if you want to follow along with what I'm saying. So you don't have to join the Patreon anymore to get the podcast transcripts. However, what you can do is you can join Patreon and have a whole host of other fun things, as well as knowing that you're supporting the podcast. What I'm doing is I'm adding a bunch of other things like exercises and vocabulary lists, which are part of every single podcast going forward from this one. And I think that will be a lot more interesting and fun than just hiding the transcripts from people. So I hope it works for you. Righty, let's get on with the day's episode transcript subject, which is talking about my daily routine. Now, daily routines are interesting because everyone has one. And I'm just going to speak and see what comes out of my head, because then you're getting some genuine, real English, because that's all I'm speaking in this podcast. So I'm going to just go for it, and maybe I hope that you will understand some new vocabulary, phrases, and expressions. So here we go. So let's start with the morning, because we could start at any point, but morning is good. The sun comes up and maybe the alarm goes off. I have an alarm. I use my watch. If you put it on a flat, hard surface like my wooden cabinet by the side of my bed, it is so loud. It's like but times like a million. Well, maybe like 20. So I put it on the floor mostly because I don't want to annoy my wife when I wake up. So I wake up with an alarm. You can wake up naturally or with an alarm. Don't really matter. It doesn't really matter, I should say, probably. In English, you can say doesn't, or you can just say don't. Okay, it don't really matter. Anyway, so I've already said wake up, I think. So when you wake up, that is just when you open your eyes and you're not sleeping anymore. To get up is slightly different. That's when you actually sit up in your bed, feet on the floor, and you leave the bed. Very sad, I know. Leaving the bed in the morning, getting up is hard, especially when it's cold and stuff. Right then, next thing I do is I have a swig of water. And a swig is like a quick gulp, a quick drink of water. Because I usually feel a little bit dehydrated, a little bit underwatered. Well, you probably shouldn't. You can't really say underwatered, sorry. That's a silly thing to say. I feel dehydrated. I don't have enough water. So I have a quick drink. Yeah, and then I'll perhaps look out of the window for a minute. Try and get some sunshine if it's the summer. And often it's really bright in the summer, in the summer, in the morning. It's good for you to get sunlight as well, I think, because it helps to wake you up. Next thing I do is I usually head on over to the bathroom and I just splash some cold water on my face, and through bleary eyes, I look at myself in the face in the mirror. When your eyes are bleary, it means you can't really see much through them because you're so tired. It's very bleary. So I have bleary eyes in the morning. After I've washed my face quickly, I go to the kitchen and make some coffee. I like coffee a lot, actually, because it's just so just smells so good. And well, who doesn't? Well, some people don't like coffee, but that's okay. I have a bite to eat as well before getting ready to go. I'm definitely a morning person. It means that I like the mornings. I usually read a little bit as well if I have time. But if you want to see more about my daily routine, I did a podcast on morning routine. I already did a podcast episode on that. So I'll leave that for now. Won't go into any more detail. Now, I go to work and I usually get to work around 8 o'clock. I drive a van around and I go to people's homes and I help to get their hot water working and things. So you can probably guess what I do just from that. So I help with their heating and their safety of their appliances and things. So I have to be there quite early. And my commute is varied, so I could be driving an hour away or half an hour away or 10 minutes. So depending on when that is, I have to leave at the appropriate time. So I drive to work. I drive everywhere all day. And it's very fun. So I don't really clock in or clock out. Clock in is when you start your job. And often, if you're physically clocking in, you have like a time card, and it's usually at like a factory or somewhere. You clock in, physically clock out, so that your time's logged. I don't officially clock in or clock out. I just get there, do the work, and then when I finish the work, I go home. So, excuse me. So, during the day, I usually have lunch. Should I start with breakfast first? I've already mentioned I have something to eat before I leave, but then I will actually have breakfast at 10 in the morning. And breakfast for me is overnight oats every single day. Just so much easier to know what you're having. I don't usually work with many people at all. It's usually just one other engineer. Sometimes, you have to just eat on the fly, and that means just as you go, like in the van, or just park up for a bit. Don't really take a break apart from to sit and drive from job to job, and that is okay with me. I used to have to work from home, and so that means that I didn't really have a set time for lunch, and it was harder for me to order my day because you can do so many different things on the computer, have 100 different tabs, work on many, many different projects, and have so many emails. It just hurts my brain, or it used to. So I used to have to reply to emails, open emails, go to meetings on Zoom, try and take breaks from the screen, all that jazz. Didn't enjoy it that much, really. All that jazz means all that stuff, okay? So you can say, I like sport and all that jazz. Jazz is obviously a type of music, I think, with like trumpets and stuff. I'm not very good at jazz, obviously. But that's just the phrase we use. I just caught myself using it. Let's have a look. What else? I think I should talk about evening routine a little bit. So, when I finish work, I head home. To head somewhere is to go there. So, for example, I just said after work, I head home. And then sometimes I head out for a run, or I head off to my friend's house and then we go for a run. I don't know. It's anything like that. And then I get back. I don't know, really. It depends when the days finish. Usually before 4 o'clock, though, which is nice. To get back means to return. So, when do you get back from work? You can ask someone. When do you usually get back? I get back usually before 4. Next thing, what else do I do? So in the evening, I like to cook. It is easy. It just takes time. So you cut up some onions, chuck some tomatoes in there, whatever you're cooking, whiz it all together, or stir it together, I guess. it helps me to wind down for the evening to cook, and also I'm hungry. To wind down means to relax. It also sort of implies that you are slowing down and slowly relaxing. So, put on a podcast, make some food. I really enjoy that. And it's quite manual as well. So, you're using your hands. If something's manual, it literally just means that you are physically doing something. So, you can have a manual job, or you can have a job where you're not doing anything very physical, and that is not a manual job. So I usually cook dinner. I really enjoy doing that. I listen to a podcast or something while I do that. I like to catch up on language learning podcasts. So it depends what I'm fancying that day. It might be Spanish. It might be a little bit of French, although I am so bad at French, okay? I try not to scroll through my phone in the evening, especially near bedtime, because it will kind of stimulate your brain, and then you just keep scrolling and scrolling, and then you feel really bad, and then I don't sleep as well. So before I sleep, often I like to read, but that is sometimes a problem in itself. I have a Kindle with a backlight, and so when the lights go off, I can still read. And sometimes I'm so tired after reading for like an hour, or it's like 10 when I go to bed, and then 2 hours later, I should have been sleeping, but I was reading. Anyway, reading's good, but not if it encroaches on your sleep. So when something encroaches, it kind of, how would I describe that? If somebody is encroaching on your space, it means they're kind of approaching, trying to getting near to it, getting on it. What's the word? Like just approaching, getting too close. So my reading habit sometimes encroaches upon my sleep. It takes up the space where my sleep should be. Sorry. I just started talking about sleep, and it's made me really tired. I think I might need to have another drink. That's like coffee or tea or something, not alcoholic drink. Anyway, it's only 3 p.m. Right. I'm just trying to get over the 3 o'clock slump. So in the afternoon, sometimes after lunch, people can experience this thing called the afternoon slump. And so that was part of my daily routine when I used to work in an office. And feel quite tired around 3 o'clock. So that's what I'm feeling now. I'm having a day off today. So trying to get some work done even on my day off, because it's fun. I enjoy making these podcasts. So I sometimes go for a walk in the evening just to chill. Sometimes a run, because that's what I do for exercise. And sometimes I play football. The problem with that is I'll often feel energized after playing football. I'll be buzzing. Buzzing is like another word for feeling energized, having lots of energy. It feels good, but it doesn't feel like I want to sleep. I can't switch off very well. When you switch off, it means that you relax. So then I try and read, and that does help me to switch off. So remember at night to brush your teeth, okay? That is probably the most important time to brush them. I mean, the morning is important as well, but I just think that then evening time is my favorite time, and I make sure that even if I forget in the morning, I always make sure I do it at night. I usually then go to bed after brushing my teeth, because I'm so sorry, excuse me. I'm going to try not to talk about sleep anymore, because it's making me really tired. I usually try and do my teeth before I go to bed. Otherwise, I get into bed and realize I have to get out again. Ooh, good one for you. I just said do my teeth instead of brush my teeth. You can use the word do for teeth, to say I will brush my teeth. You can use the word do for many different things. So It's totally normal in English to say, I do my teeth, or have you done your teeth? Have you done your teeth yet? Are you in the bathroom? I still need to do my teeth. Like, I don't know why it works, but it just does. You can say do instead of brush. It's the same thing with like hair. If you need to do your hair, can you pass me the brush? I need to do my hair. To do something, yeah, you can use it for many different things. I'm trying to think of some more examples. You can do your homework. Well, yeah, you can do your homework. That is sometimes optional. Anyway, that's not part of my nighttime routine. I don't have any homework. Sometimes when you can't sleep, you just have to lie there, kind of staring at the ceiling, but that's not part of my daily routine. Oh, night owl. That's a good expression. So earlier I said I'm a morning person. Well, maybe you're not a morning person. Maybe you're a night owl. And people call themselves a night owl if they essentially like to stay up later and are more productive and energetic in the evening. You spell owl, by the way, O-W-L. Owl. I also don't know how that sounds on a podcast. Owl. So there you go. I've said it multiple times for you. An owl is the type of animal that goes tweet-twoo, according to English at least. Tweet-twoo. And they fly around at night. And they have big eyes. It's a bird, obviously. So if you go to bed late and you feel more awake in the evening or late at night, then you are a night owl. I think I used to be a night owl, and I still could be if I wanted to be. I'm happy to get up early, and I really like the potential of a new morning. I like waking up and making the coffee and just getting ready for the day. So I think I'm way more of a morning person now, especially if it's the weekend. I like to get up early, like at 6, and then go for a run or a swim, see my friends, because that's your day, the day you're not working. I mean, yeah, and Sunday too. But that's why I like to use my time. So my daily routine at the weekends, get up early as possible and use the time that I have. So, yeah, I think that's almost everything that I want to say. Feel free to write any questions you have about your daily routine anywhere you see this podcast, or hear the podcast, I should say, whether that's on YouTube or Spotify or anywhere. Remember that I'm going to be souping up the Patreon soon. To soup something up means to make it better, right? I'm going to be making the Patreon a little bit more exciting with some interesting, exercises and things about each podcast. And I hope to see you there. Just come check it out. And you can also sign up to be a free member, which is, that's an option. There should be some fun things for everyone. So check it out at Simply Street English. No, try again. Patreon.com/Simply Street English. Now, I will just leave you with a little bit of a, what would they call this? I fill in the blanks. Okay, so I'll say now a sentence, and you can rewind it, and then when I pause, you can say what you want to put in that space to talk about your daily routine. Ready? Here we go. I usually wake up at. I then like to. After that, I. Then I. And finally, at night, I always make sure I. There you go. If you want to play with that, rewind, put your own answers in. I think that might be quite fun to try. Anyway, time for me to go now. I'll see you in the next one. Perhaps not literally see you because it's a podcast, but I can't really say I'll hear you in the next one either. You'll hear me in the next one. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now. Bye bye.